coming to you from Firosha Road, and in fact, first of all, directly let's go to the visuals. This is the situation over here, and in fact, there is abundant, like the water has been waterlogged. Almost my heels are knee deep in the water, and in fact, you can see this is the prime location here in the national capital. This is what the central Delhi area looks like after just some hours of rain, and in fact, this is the situation which we are bringing you from the ground over here. The traffic snarls actually are beginning to, and in fact the congestion of traffic is starting yet again over here. And in fact there was a breather in fact for some time here in the national capital when the rain stopped for actually couple of hours or there, and after that the rain continued yet again, and you can see the water is very much in fact the water is inundated, and in fact this is the current situation, and in fact this is the level of civic maintenance which we are viewing at this very road. Because this is the central Delhi area, and in fact if the condition of this road is something like this, then it's a worrisome situation, because it is just one of the days when Delhi is witnessing such heavy rains, and in fact I can say that in this season, this is this season's very harshest rains, in fact, if we can say, and in fact after that only you can see all the lanes, be it this Firosha lane and in fact be it the other by lanes of this area, are in fact inundated in heavy water. And in fact not only this road, other roads in central Delhi area, be it Akbar Road, be it near ITO Minto Road, everywhere the water is logged, and in fact this entire area is being packed with water. If you just see the condition over here, in fact people suffering, there are actually heavy traffic snarls at certain points. The traffic has been affected, and in fact when we spoke to some of the people who are actually passing by from this very lane, they said this condition is prevailing on the other side of this roundabout as well. And in fact this is the situation which we are bringing you from ground zero, from here, from Firosha Road. And in fact now early morning when the rain actually began, in fact we went to show the ground reality from other areas as well. In fact Mathura Road is one such road which faces this very same problem, and in fact till where I can show you the visuals, till there also you can see water is logged at this very lane. So we cannot say that this is the situation just at one place. You can see all the by lanes connecting from this roundabout is facing the same issue. In fact, Gurgaon since morning was witnessing very heavy rains, and in fact we spoke to some people there, and in fact the same situation is being faced by them in Gurugram. This condition over here actually started to actually form, and actually this happened only in the last couple of hours when because of that continuous hours of rain, this condition was actually, now we can see this condition prevailing. IMD had already predicted 4 to 5 days of heavy rains, in fact in certain regions of North India, including Jammu and Kashmir, till down to Uttar Pradesh, and in fact Haryana and other states as well. And in fact Delhi is nothing new to these sorts of rains, because when there is an onset of southwest monsoon here in the national capital, every year we actually see situation like this. In fact this year this seems to be extraordinary, because for years we've been covering this menace, and in fact hardly we have seen something like this from Firosha Road. Yes, there are other points in the national capital which faces the same thing, be it the Minto Bridge Road area, or in fact Mathura Road area, and in fact the adjoining areas from Gurugram. Gurugram is one of those places which is actually quite accustomed to all this waterlogging and inundating of in fact passageways also, which people are actually trying to move. And in fact these are some people who've been coming a really long way, and in fact we'll ask to them कहाँ तक कितना पानी भरा है?
पीछे बहुत पानी भरा हुआ है, सब जगह सारे नाले सब बंद है।
नहीं तो कहाँ, सिर्फ इस सड़क पे नहीं और मेरे ख्याल से अकबर रोड सब चारों तरफ जाम है।
हाँ जी सारे तरफ जाम है और पानी अंदर तक भरा हुआ है, सब कुछ नाले वाले सब बंद है।
You can see how this gentleman was actually coming from the different side of the road, and he narrates the story how this is the situation of almost entire Lutean zone. And surprisingly we have to also understand this is the VVIP area we are talking about. Here all the MPs live, most of the homes belong to MP, former justices of India, and all the big people in government and governance. So if the condition of central Delhi is like this, now many questions are actually will be raised on the authorities. If we go to the outer part of Delhi, in fact, if we go to the outer north area, there are certain places in that very area where the roads are still under construction, and in fact, just imagine the plight of people over there, because we have seen from areas like from outer district, these visuals comes up every year when there is waterlogging. And in fact, more shockingly, what we have seen here in the national capital, many cases of mishappenings. In fact, a lady actually lost her life due to electrocution in the national capital at a railway station. So that is the reason why the authorities need to actually be answerable to why this sort of a situation is arising here in the national capital, and in fact in the prime of the national capital where most of the power circuits are. In fact, Parliament is just nearby from here, and in fact Vijay Chowk is also facing the same issue. Well, we are getting you reports from different parts of the national capital, and in fact we are coming to you once again from a road in the national capital, and this is basically the Janpat area, which is inundated in water after the heavy spell of rains. And in fact, if we go by the facts, there are many areas in the national capital which are being waterlogged after this heavy spell of rainfall. And in fact, these are the Tibetan market shops over here at the Janpat area. And in fact, you can see how the water has actually started receding inside the shops of these very people who are doing their business from this Tibetan market. And in fact, I have one gentleman with me whose shop is almost like the floor, everything is submerged into the water. First of all, I'll show you how this very shops look like. In fact, you can see, in fact, how much water has already receded inside this very shop. And in fact, business of this gentleman has also been affected. The main thing here to understand is that just after few hours of heavy rain, this is the condition of the national capital, and in particular from the prime, the area which is considered as the prime location of the national capital, the central Delhi, the Janpat area, the Connaught Place area, and in fact if you go to the India Gate area as well, everywhere the situation is somewhat similar, and in fact at different point in times the situation continued to change. And in fact I have the gentleman whose shop is being in fact affected by this rain. Sir, कितना पानी भर चुका था?
फुल बढ़ चुका था, यहाँ तक बढ़ चुका था, ऊपर तक बढ़ चुका था,
यहाँ तक बढ़ गया था?
यहाँ तक बढ़ गया था, ये पूरा बढ़ चुका था पानी।
अच्छा,
नुकसान है, सब में नुकसान है। 50 बार 1000 बार कहा इनको कुछ कर लो, कुछ कर लो, कुछ कर लो, और होल सारे बंद है, कुछ करते नहीं है, कुछ करते नहीं है, कुछ भी करते हैं, कुछ सी yourself, क्या हाल, ये देखो हाल क्या है, इस तलबल का हाल क्या है, मेन होल नहीं है, कोई काम करने वाला नहीं है, everything is worst.
नहीं तो आपकी शॉप कुछ सामान का भी नुकसान हुआ?
सारा नुकसान हो गया, सारा कारपेट है, शॉल है, सब कुछ सारा बर्बाद हो गया है।
नहीं तो ये पहली बार ऐसा हो रहा है या हर साल ऐसा होता है?
ये हर साल हो रहा है, हर साल ऐसा हो रहा है, हर साल, एवरी ईयर।
तो आपने किसी को कंप्लेंट करी इस बारे में?
हजारों बार कंप्लेंट की है।
किसको कंप्लेंट करते हैं आप?
एनएमसी को डोंट केयर।
तो कोई कर्मचारी एनडीएमसी के आते
नहीं आ रहा, कोई नहीं आ रहा, कोई नहीं।
नहीं तो ये तो बड़ी चिंता का विषय है, क्योंकि दिल्ली जैसे एरिया के अंदर, और क्या कहते हैं बेसिकली, और सेंट्रल दिल्ली की बात कर रहे हैं, आसपास के एरिया की, वहाँ पे ये हालत है, तो क्या होगा फिर?
बस ये हाल, आप खुद देखो हालत क्या है, आप खुद बोलो उनको हालत क्या है। दिल्ली कैपिटल है ये, दिस कैपिटल ऑफ इंडिया, यहाँ ये हाल है, आगे क्या हाल होगा?
आप कितने टाइम से बिजनेस कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे?
35 ईयर्स।
तो 35 ईयर्स में ऐसी सिचुएशन वर्स्ट रही है, इससे भी खराब सिचुएशन देखी है?
ये तो वर्स्ट है,
ये इस बार वर्स्ट है।
वर्स्ट है।
Well, in fact, this is the word which is coming in from a shopkeeper over here. And in fact, I'll also get you some visuals from that side of the road, because now what we are learning, some officials from NDMC might have arrived over here. In fact, this is the plight. In fact, right now, people actually suffering from the issue of waterlogging. Actually, this actually makes the commute very tough for the people of the national capital to actually move from one place to another. In case if see, you can see all around you, and in fact now there are in fact man also, the gentleman over there is asking us to actually move from this spot. This is the condition of the road after a few hours of raining, in fact, and here the by lanes, the main roads, all are inundated in water, and in fact the shopkeepers are suffering from this very menace. And in fact the shopkeepers here, I have to say that this is the very first time in last 25 years of he doing business from here. He says this is the worst ever situation which he has witnessed in this very area. So this is actually worrisome for both the authorities and for the locals who are actually running their business from here. And in fact, this actually they have said also, they have complained to many authorities. Every year they do the same, but no resolution is being given to them. So right now the situation remains similar in many parts of Delhi, and in fact right now we saw how few areas actually were sensitized by the local authorities where the water was actually removed, but still the rainfall alert is still impending in the national capital, where the IND has said that the rains will continue for the next 4 to 5 days, and in fact an alert has also been issued by the authorities. So right now the situation is tense and in fact intense over here, because waterlogging is being witnessed in several areas. There are traffic jams and there are people who are actually suffering from this very thing. This is Yash Goel with video journalist Arpit Seth for CNN News 18 here in New Delhi.